Okay, day 101, DynCorp Harvest. In this series, I talk about DynCorp sort of being the black budget of the CIA. There's several other organizations, but they're certainly a large part of it right now. And I talk about when you're competing against somebody like the CIA, it's like they're the fourth branch of government, really. You've got the legislative, judicial, and executive. And I kind of compare those to three kids playing in a sandbox. And then when you bring in the CIA with public-private partnerships and so forth, or DynCorp in this case, they're going to be as the front organization. It's kind of like inviting Harambe into the little area where the kids are playing. You hope Harambe is nice to the little kids, but you see then all of a sudden Harambe dragging little kids in circles and so forth, and you wonder, well, I wonder if it's safe. So that's kind of where we're at right now with DynCorp in the United States. It really has been the situation for, I'd say, since the 9/11. So, but it's getting worse, and I'll show that. So one of the things in this series I talk about is I started with Hillary and how they used the Muslim Brotherhood and General Grange here to overthrow Libya and Syria. But there's nothing to say that they can't do that today. They have all the same contacts, and they have all the same Stinger missiles and sarin gas, so they still could do topples today in any country in the world. What I'm trying to say is in order to combat this sort of clandestine network that's been developed really over a period since 1974, since Kissinger first went into the White House with Nixon, is an open operation. So this is a covert operation. I'm talking about an open media research operation, which I consider this operation, which is I take in the sources and citations from news articles that are relevant to this story that exposes these type of operations every day, and then I summarize it. So I call myself a kind of a glorified stenographer. And so thank you to all the researchers out there that help me do that, because every day I get more and more evidence that this bad behavior by this DynCorp, they were the ones originally with Enron, if you remember, and they Bosnia, Kosovo, Haiti, you name it, they've done these things. They not only run the vaccines, but they also do the viruses. They create the viruses with CDC. They're doing sex trafficking, and then they're doing organ harvesting and all sorts of blood harvesting as well as a part of that. I'm just putting blood harvesting and organ harvesting together. So when you see a piece of intelligence like this would be a typical. Richard Nixon used to say, complain about the CIA and say you got 15,000 people reading newspapers all day. So you get things like this that come in to the analyst desks. And oh, by the way, I want to say the CIA has great operations people, economic people, great analyst people that would see something like this come across their desk, and then they would have to put it in the right file, right? And then there's this other group that's kind of like the cowboys, the old Bill Donovan type cowboys, kind of fraternity, Pirates of the Caribbean type thing. And they're the ones that are responsible for this type of stuff. You see this, you think, wow, whoever is training the elite German military to do these sadistic naked sexual rituals is really crazy. And it's going to be DynCorp, you're going to find out, in this little town of Fuhlendorf, and down here in Bavaria, beautiful little town here. But what you're going to find is it's actually the first military responders, which is kind of like the people that go in right after the bombs have stopped falling, and they're going in to recover the bodies, the wounded. Okay, so what they're doing is they're compromising these people as well. They're taking photographs. You'll see it right here in the article. They're filming them, putting different things into different. It's really kind of disgusting. But so one way of analyzing this intelligence would say, wow, people are weird and they're evil, but if you look at it from the bigger picture, it's actually part of a system of compromising everyone in the supply chain. You compartmentalize and compromise. Okay, so if I was at Langley or now McLean, that's what I would characterize it as. I'd say, oh yeah, this is another brownstone in the organ harvest chain. So here's a group that comes in right after. And the reason why Peter Thiel and Palantir is in this, he's managing all the assets in Haiti. Let's just take Haiti as an example. Team Rubicon came in after the thing in Haiti. These guys got to go kidnap the bad guys. And this on-site OHS, these on-site health services, or in this case, Team Rubicon, is going to take these Navy helicopters and they're going to fly them out to the Navy ships, and those people are going to be missing organs pretty quickly. If you go back to all the films of the Navy helicopters with these teams coming in and going out, none of them were picking up wounded. None of them were taking the wounded to hospitals. You can check it on the internet if you don't believe me. And it's nice to have somebody like Dana Braverman here who can be coordinating it all. It's almost like they took Jewish kids from New York, all my friends, and sent them to Israel, and then came back and gave them covers and called them Braverman, after the old Negev Brigade. But I'm not saying that's what happened. But anyway, this is a sniper team to protect the health team. And the health team is going into these centers where people are wounded. They're picking out people. Peter Thiel's Palantirs following them all around so they know where they are. They send the helicopter to the right place. As soon as they get 12, or 20 probably, they off to the hospital ship. So here's kind of an update to the Cleveland Clinic. The gal who got sent home to Saudi Arabia, she's going to sue. And they're really trying to make a big deal about this. You're turning doctors away from this extreme vetting thing. It's actually a cover for the Cleveland Clinic has been hammered a couple of times for taking, they're called an organ-friendly hospital. And, I think I figured out the linkage here. Paul Farmer is teaching in Rwanda, and he's teaching in Haiti and these genocide areas. He's teaching these kids, these interns, the same kind of kids that are being turned away up here. He's teaching them to do these organ extractions and so forth. And now they're coming back to the United States to do the organ transplants. So the first thing you need to learn how to do is have a bunch of semi-skilled people doing extractions. Then you need to go to Cleveland Clinic or whatever to go to learn under an expert to actually do the transplants. And like I said, if you look at the money involved with the kidneys, liver, and all this sort of thing, it's just too unbelievable to ignore. And this also goes for cord blood. Yesterday on this slide I mentioned the most valuable thing in your body is bone marrow, because bone marrow is used in leukemia treatment and so forth, and per gram. And they take a quart. I don't know how many grams are in a quart, but it's $23,000 a gram for your bone marrow. I mean, that's, I don't know. I thought it was like 300 grams in a quart, I'm guessing. But that's a lot of money. Cord blood can be substituted for bone marrow. So it's also easier to match, and it's easier to get to. Now, there's other risks to it and so forth, but you can get it right away if there's an accident or something like that. So this is a huge business right here, this cord blood. You're going to find University of Denver Medical Center, University of Colorado Medical Center is going to be a big cord blood blood bank. So you remember this film, the secret film that Project Veritas did, where Planned Parenthood was talking about, cord blood and so forth. And, here Deborah Nucatala is talking about, we can get people whatever they want, lower extremities, that's easy. If you have a aborted fetus that goes to 6 months, those hearts can be used in heart transplants for 5-month-old babies. So, and those are $1 million operations, if not more. This is the side of the business of DynCorp where they created with DynPort, which is that company in England called Import and Down. This guy in emergent biosciences, this is Zolt here, he's making the viruses, which are the bioweapons, and then he's going to go over to himself over here and make another transaction and buy the vaccine from DynPort Vaccine. So both sides of the game as far as vaccines. So they got the vaccines covered, they've got the cord blood covered, and they've got the organs covered. Thank God. So I'm ready to say there's currently a ship called the Spearhead Hospital ship down in Honduras right now, and I'm convinced that this is a teaching hospital for teaching transplants. So Paul Farmer's teaching extractions of the heart, and on this ship here they're teaching people in that military, in the Honduran military, how to do transplants. So that's how it works. There's 9 more of these ships being commissioned. The first 2 were just converted oil tankers. Now this new one is a very fast one. So they're trying to speed them up to get the organs back here quicker. And I think all the next ones are going to be fast ones as well. No more of these slow oil tankers. because you have ischemia with the tissue. So, and again, nothing new. This is done in Fort Bragg, 1973, 74. So I didn't add, yesterday I said I didn't make clear that drug money is being laundered through Lionsgate, the film production company, to create films of everything, every operation they do. They make money off of it. And you'll find this in high tech with the CIA as well. It's kind of like using the bristles of the pig as a paintbrush, like they used to do. I mean, they really reuse everything in their operations to get the most amount of money out of it. But there's another movie called Island, where they actually have like CIA agents impregnating lots of women so that their children can provide them organs as they get older. So it gets more macabre as we go along. I thought I would update you on Braverman versus Braverman. This doctor here who talks about old hearts and old lungs. He keeps delaying it. This court case has gone on forever. So, but his patient list is going to be the buyers. So, and how did they get sold? They got sold by Podesta. They got sold by Paul Farmer, talking about how these were, great recovered things, and they got sold by Office Art, and they got sold by ritualistic practices with cake and emails like this. These are testimonials. This is how well the kidney and organ transplant work. This is Fleischiker, rape, pillage, and plunder. So new information came out about Bosnia. There's an article or a new citation about a Turkish doctor that has done, I think, 23,000 kidney transplants, and that was in 2011. He'd done them in Bosnia, he'd done them in Kosovo, and now he's doing them in Aleppo. He started, you'll see the citation. I think it's on the first citation. And now here's Project Underground Railroad. Glenn Beck travels to Haiti with Project Underground Railroad, okay? And so he's kind of like this, like giving legitimacy to Project Underground Railroad. But if this is the guy, the Tim Ballard, who's the CEO, this is a public-private partnership, ? No, I think it's a vigilante group that's kidnapping and extorting. It's a kidnap and extortion unit created for asset seizure, because it's the farthest extension of a public-private partnership you can get. As a matter of fact, there's no public piece to this. They do stings with DHS, but they are extorting money, and these kids are being kidnapped, and they are being at least blood farmed for cryogenics and for cord blood. So, and their wives don't even know it. That's the sad part. They're all ex-special forces guys trained to go in and kill everybody. So these are the groups. These are the groups that attack reporters like me and Michael and Gary that say, hey, this is what's really happening. And then they create this revenge motive that they plant in their heads, saying, oh, we're going to get back at these sex guys. So I haven't done anything wrong, so I'm okay. You're going to find here at the University of Denver Medical School, it's going to be a big transplantation center, a huge cord blood center. It's going to be one of the largest blood banks. And you're going to find in Boulder, I'm saying this right now, near Boulder, north of Boulder, near Rocky Mountain National Park, is where you're going to have your big underground complex, and they're with the current system of the disposition matrix. They're saying who is the winner, who are going to be the winners, who's going to get to go in the tunnel if the nuclear war happens, just like Kissinger's paper in Harvard, and the movie Dr. Strangelove was made about it. Same idea. So, otherwise, why are you at the marathon, Boston Marathon, with the Tsarnaev brothers, who are trained Chechen assassins from Muslim Brotherhood? Why? So you're going to find this Petit Frere Histoire is not going to be just this. This is one orphanage out of 76 in Haiti. This is where Laura Silsby was. You have a CIA agent named Conway there, and she's going to be looking at, I think they were running a sex sting operation here, as well as looking at the effect of diseases on children, and doing all kinds of testing here with Petit Frere Histoire, sorry. And then you've got Bill Swing's organization here. This is money given by USAID to groups in Haiti. when this comes out, when all these disbursements come out, you're going to see all the CIA projects involved in Haiti. Bill Swing, Mr. Body Bag, I call him, and Fred Eichelman, Mr. Vaccine, or Mr. Drug Test is what I'm going to call him. And again, with Palantir, I can follow all these people all around. I know where my assets are at all times when they have a cell phone. And if you look here, this teaching hospital right here, this is where you're going to be doing the organ extraction right here. Okay, so all your students are here. So Paul Farmer's going to be here. Here the prisoners come down the road at Lemonade. They're going to take out the hearts. Then they're going to do the actual transplants. This is when the hospital ship isn't in port. They're going to do the transplants in Mirabai, very remote, blocked off on both sides by Nepalese UN troops. Okay, I'm doing pretty good on time, I think. The Monica Peterson thing with the micro loans on the cell phones, this is to get women in debt so they have to give up a kidney. This started in Bangladesh with Yunus, then went to India, and it's the first step. Because the kidney is worth so much, it stopped there for a while, and then they didn't go for the harvesting of prisoners because it's so lucrative. But as we go into this, I always make the point, if you don't stop it at some point, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. You know, it keeps getting more Dante-esque, I guess would be the word. This is a classic example. I believe that these murders in Chicago, these 800 murders, it's basically going out to the chicken coop and killing a chicken or a turkey right before Thanksgiving. You know, I hate to put it in terms like that. I talked about the Atlanta killings with Wayne Williams when Andrew Young was mayor, and guess who agrees with me? Dick Gregory, one of the an activist. You got 4,000. You got 7,000 of these organizations running around with paramilitary capability and no oversight whatsoever. 45 agencies dealing in top secret information. So again, the only way that the public, the open operations, have a chance against covert operations is by putting out the 650,000 emails, at least metadata. The public has no chance. There's no other way. At the CIA, everybody says, oh, Pompeo's coming in. That'll save everything. No, they have a thing called the directorate, which intercepts everything going to the director and then redirects it. So that's not a solution. The only solution is sunshine. So, and I will just say that we've got a 40-year captain on our side, child exploitation, sex crimes, and these 650,000 emails, and Preet's still looking at his wall. Okay, that's it. Thanks.